Sizzle and crackle on the heat. Nothing tastes better than roasted meat. Yeah!
Yeah, this is goofy. Fire Emblem Engage's roster may lack the character depth of some of the series' heavy hitters, such as the Tellius duo, Jugdrul, or even Three Houses, but if there's one thing the game did well to me, it was making me better appreciate the goofier, more simplistic aspects of writing. While the majority of its cast may be two-dimensional or have a quirk that defines the whole of their identity, that ain't gonna stop me from yapping all about how this is undoubtedly one of the biggest goofballs in Fire Emblem. Timerra. Not the biggest, okay? I said one of. She's got competition, I'm just saying. But the various support conversations in this game highlights just how much of an eccentric ball of chaotic goofiness embodies this one character. Looks can be deceiving, but for those who've clicked this video out of sheer curiosity and don't know who Timerra is or what a Fire Emblem even is, she's a playable character within Fire Emblem Engage, the current last game to be released for Nintendo's most popular strategy RPG series. As mentioned before, she's an eccentric ball of energy who's the crown princess of the Queendom of Solm, a desert kingdom in the continent of... Oh my god, it goes to show how much I actually cared for this game's setting. How did I forget this? Elios. Yeah, the continent of Elios. I totally didn't forget that while writing this part of the script, I swear. You could consider her a supporting character to the main character, Alir, but she's one of the royals who the game considers important enough to maintain a constant presence in the main narrative, outside of optional dialogue like the support conversations. For every Fire Emblem game that has them, support conversations offer additional development for these characters. These are for the players who seek more beyond the main stories. Almost all of the games with this system offer this, that is. Radiant Dawn, I love you, but why? And those lovely conversations are what we will be focusing on today, because the goofy shit that we're looking for is sadly very limited to the main story. Most of Timerra's supports revolve around these subjects. Meat, singing, oh boy, torturing a 1,000-year-old little cinnamon roll, more meat, being a surprisingly perceptive and supportive friend, gonna need an asterisk for that one, hunting bandits in the most unorthodox and inefficient way, and more meat. I'm gonna categorize all of this into what I'll call goof points, because I couldn't come up with anything clever. Goof point number 1, her singing. Okay, what's so goofy about a girl just singing, you might be asking? It's a pretty normal thing, you know, when it's good singing or just cute, like Annette. But Timerra takes it into a radical direction. When your singing is so bad, to where the game is completely self-aware of it, is a silly kind of fun. But what's goofy about it is the situations it creates, as opposed to the singing itself.
Oh, wow, would you look at that? Who knew the big tough prince was a scaredy cat?
I am the Crown Prince of Brodia. I am not a scaredy cat. Let me just, Oh, Brodia, a land of strength and might. Evil men aren't allowed there. Oh no, now everyone is staring at me. Princess Timerra, what do I do now?
Just keep singing, you goofball!
Come on, it's Tiamat, the serious one. And this hyperactive princess managed to bring out the most uncharacteristic behavior out of him. I swear to you, the moment the
Oh, Brodia
hit my ears for the first time, tears were welling up in my eyes. It put me into a laughing fit akin to when I first saw Datara from Naruto explode for the first time. That scene might not have been that funny to most people, but it put me and my brother into stitches, and that was enough justification for me. The Tiamat and Timerra singing scene was no exception. Maybe not that goofy to some people, but god, it worked on me. I mean, the whole premise of their conversation is that Tiamat's willing to try out Timerra's way of being a leader to her people. She's always out and about, hanging with the citizens in an effort to be physically close and connected, and to be a constant presence to protect them. Meanwhile, Tiamat's the typical serious training addict who spends most of his time honing his physical skills in an effort to protect his people from afar. So that progression from C support, which established the conflict and deceptively set it up to be a pretty boring and predictable development, to the B support just nosediving straight into the ridiculous singing, just slayed me. I was I was just expecting Timerra to sing, make a goofy scene, then leave, but no, my boy got embarrassed, and I'm all for it. I can't leave Ivy out either. They were mostly in the same situation of exploring their polar opposite nature, but the B support again, oh my god.
No. Ghosts. I'm certain I heard a strange moaning cry coming from that way.
Hey, you, spooky ghost. How's it going?
Quiet!
Sorry. But singing might make you feel a little less scared. Why not try it?
Ghost!
That's it! Now, of all the things to be scared of, why ghosts and not plagues or wars?
Please just forget what you saw here. I've had enough sleeping outdoors.
How does this girl manage to convert some of the most serious characters into momentary goofballs? Well, to be fair, Ivy's kind of funny herself sometimes without Timerra, but
So, with that, I'm getting out of here!
this isn't her video. And then there's Nell.
Stop right there.
Actually, forget about Nell for now. Just keep her in mind for later. Goof point number 2. Meat. Whoa, not that kind of meat. I think. Timerra's obsession with meat isn't all that goofy by itself, considering you've got other characters with a lot more bizarre obsessions. But similar to the singing, it's the delivery of this meaty obsession that kills me, as well as the situations it creates by proxy. Well, let me rephrase that. The situations it creates are 100% the reason why it's so silly beyond the ordinary. In Seedall support, Timerra was acting pretty tame throughout the whole chain, all things considered. My girl was just roasting her meat. Oh my god, that sounded wrong. In peace, minding her own business. But then Seedall's just... Nah, actually, this whole thing was on Seedall, man. I mean, just...
Yet here you are. You and your meat. Everything I eat is carefully chosen to guide my dancing. Now, I want to stuff that in my mouth.
Oh, sure. Have at it.
Ah, spirit of the
Man, my mind is screwed up, I swear, but the jokes just write themselves. I don't even need to say anything. But like Diamant and Ivy, Timerra just existing in these scenes just brings out the goof energy.
Hey, Divine One. It's meat o'clock. You in?
And she can still output that energy just fine on her own. But none of this compares to Nell, who...
Stop right there.
Yeah, no, not yet. Meat is the centerpiece that holds together all of Timerra's quirks. Her supports always find a way to squeeze in her obsession oh so subtly. If she's not making meat puns or alterations like the aforementioned meat o'clock, she's literally just singing about meat. Man, and some of these titles of these songs are just... Bacon in my heart. What? I need lyrics for this. I need to hear this. No, here's an idea. Whoever can come up with the goofiest yet most immaculate lyrics to a song called Bacon in My Heart in the comment section below, you'll not only get it pinned, but I'll even shout it out in my next video. Whatever it'll be. I am so gonna regret this. Probably the funniest thing meat related or just Timerra cooking shenanigans in general is one of her wake up events. So for those unfamiliar with Engage, the main character, Alir, can take a rest in their room at any point. This is mainly used to change the time of day, but before they can wake up, an event will play with a random character who's tasked with waking them up. One of Timerra's events are, and I kid you not, is her cooking meat by your bedside while waiting for you to wake up. No, I'll just let you hear it for yourself.
Running over here made me hungry. I'll just make myself a snack while I wait for you to wakey. Just gonna light a teensy fire, put the meat on, and... Ah, look at that! Grilled to perfection. Oh no! This fire is huge! Water! I've gotta throw some water on it! Ah!
No one but this freaking goofball would create one of the most random and chaotic circumstances around simply waking someone up. Well, Lapis creates an explosion akin to this one in one of hers, but Timerra's just funnier. Especially with how casually she just treats the whole thing after the ensuing madness simmers down. Man, if I were a Lear, I'd be afraid to sleep at all, knowing Desert Cooking Mama could barge into my room at any moment and set the whole thing on fire. Imagine this being a bad ending where Alir just fucking dies from all the fumes. But that's enough about meat. How about we move on to Goof point number 3. Recklessness. This will be a short one, but one of the other characters, Vale, was done dirty by Timerra in one of the funniest ways. Okay, so their first 2 conversations show an exhausted and clearly terrified little cinnamon roll. Well, that's because Timerra just threw the girl on wolfback, cause yeah, riding wolves in Solm is a thing that hardly ever gets explored outside of the combat class it's centered around, as a means to relieve some stress. This is clearly Vale's first time doing something so dangerous, considering Timerra explains how aggressively these wolves reject beginners. Well, nothing goofy about that, right? Just Timerra being Timerra, and this support also shows some of her surprisingly perceptive and compassionate traits that's overshadowed by all the goof. But, you guys know the memo by now. It's Timerra. Here's a little bit of cursed insight. In Alfred's support, Timerra reveals how often it is for beginning riders to suffer injuries from wolves. And not just any injuries. Entire limbs of these people are just gone. And how nonchalantly Timerra puts this, I doubt she was joking. This even scared old gym rat Alfredo sauce from even attempting to ride one. So Timerra, you just slapped little Vale on the back of a wolf, knowing full well that she's a newbie. Again, and her nonchalant behavior about it it just makes this so funny in a fucked up way. Poor Vale could have gotten chewed all up, and Timerra's all,
yeah, stress relief, let's go!
This chill behavior towards totally not normal stuff extends to her infamous pastime, luring in bandits just to kick their ass. I'm not talking about a few bandits, I'm talking about hordes of them. How does she lure them in, you might ask? Well...
Wow. You're really something, Timerra.
That's true! I'm really something! I'm the Crown Princess of Solm! And I'm wearing lots of priceless jewels!
Shh, please keep your voice down. I've heard that this area isn't very safe.
You can say that again. It's absolutely crawling with bandits. That's why I'm out here like a nice, tempting hunk of lamb on a spit.
Wait a minute. That was your plan? To use yourself as bait?
Alir, you're better than me. The moment this girl started shouting like a maniac, I'd be zooming out of there like the damn Roadrunner. No one but her would just find the most unorthodox method to bait out bandits. And the funny part about it is that she just treats this so casually, like it's the most normal thing in the world. Hey, actually, Alir sums this up better than I could.
You say something completely radical, like it's the most obvious thing in the world.
That explains this girl to the T, and the next support is the culmination of everything I've yapped about so far. And that's none other than... Goof point number 4. Nell. This whole chain is one of the most underrated and downright comical supports in the game. This was clearly written just for the fun of it, and it manages to be the perfect blend of everything that makes Timerra one of this game's silliest characters. So, Nell's minding her own business, killing time and just drifting off in unwanted naps, but every time she wakes up, she's greeted with just a random plate of roasted meat in front of her. It's perplexing her so much. Meat. I wonder who could have left this. Shut up, we already know.
Okay, she's fast asleep. Secret snack, activate!
Stop right there.
Yeet!
Princess of Solm. You are the one who has been leaving roasted meat in my presence.
What? No.
Then explain what you have there.
It's a fashion accessory. Anyway, sorry to bother you, bye!
Hold a moment, I only wanted to ask... No use. She is gone. How perplexing.
The freaking eek gets me every time. Also, her being needlessly covert about this whole sneaking a meal thing and treating it like a special move gives her more goof points. I don't know if Nell pausing to stand before speaking again was intentional for some realism, but I can't articulate why this is so funny to me. Her being so dramatic upon waking up from her fake nap further sells it, I guess. Almost like she's all,
"Stop right there, criminal scum!"
Hold up. Let me just... Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna eat you now. So, like the sweetheart she is, Timerra's only doing this because Nell's always looking tired, so her idea of giving her some more energy is just sliding meat in front of her.
Guess there's no point hiding it. Yeah, that was me. Lately, you just look so tired. Whenever I walk past you, there you are, sleeping on the ground.
I have an insatiable urge to eat her right now.
And when Nell tells her that dragons don't require that sort of nourishment like humans do, Timerra's only response is like, "Oh crap, I ain't think of anything else other than meat. What else can I do? I don't know, some water? Aren't you like a desert princess? I figured a beverage would be your first option, but nope. It's all meat with her, and I love it." So Nell suggests just singing to her is good enough, and this is where bacon in my heart comes from, along with facing snackwards. Meat on the... I can't. I'm done. Just read the rest of the support for yourselves. It's truly an amalgamation of every goof point I've brought up in this video. Timerra's one of those characters where it's blatantly clear that she shouldn't be taken that seriously. An intentional comic relief with her serious moments here and there. I've alluded to it a few times in this video, but when you set the goofiness to the side, Timerra's underlying perception surfaces in key moments, such as her calling out her brother Fogado and seeing right through his farce. Solm is a country of the free spirit, so both Prince and Princess embody this trait with their outgoing lifestyles. And their support chain is mostly on the serious side. She never gets to spend time with him because he's always wandering Solm more than she does, and she has a keen enough eye to realize that his reasoning is twofold.
I was thinking about what you said, how I wasn't around much in the castle. I've always felt that because our people are free spirits, they deserve a free-spirited prince. But now, I realize that it got in the way of our Sibi time. I'll try to do better from now on.
Listen, Fogado, I know that free spirit stuff doesn't tell the whole story. You leave the castle to get a lay of the land. Make it easier to plan for a crisis, right? So that if the worst happens, you'll be ready to advise me.
Of course you knew.
She has other moments like this. Sometimes her shenanigans may come off as goofy and reckless. Well, no, may. They are goofy and reckless. But she has a sharp eye for spotting her companion's mental state, such as the aforementioned Nail and Veil, as well as being able to catch on to other people's ulterior motives, such as Ivy secretly using her experiences to gauge Timerra's character, and even look for weaknesses. But obviously, to Engage's two-dimensional approach to the majority of its cast, not much of this is properly fleshed out. And, well, I'd say that's intentional. I'd say most people's beef with this game's writing stems from how much of a high bar for quality the previous game set. Three Houses. That game introduced a lot of new fans to the series, and Engage's rather generic premise rightfully turned off those seeking a story and characterization rich in uniqueness and thought-provoking depth. I mean, the fact that people still to this day bicker amongst themselves over each faction and the characters is a testament to a strong story for Three Houses. Other examples of this outside of Fire Emblem is the recent Season 3 of Invincible, an Amazon exclusive show, where fans constantly participate in the Mark versus Cecil debate. Engage has none of that. And you know what? That's fine. One of the reasons why I'm so lax on both this game and its characters is because I went into it with low expectations. I didn't set myself up for disappointment because I knew just from the trailers alone that this anniversary title was focusing exclusively on the fun side of things. And that's why I feel Timerra is the perfect representation of Engage's simplicity. Not everything needs to be serious, morally gray, and filled to the brim with intricate storytelling and depth. A game can have just dumb, stupid fun while celebrating how far it's come. I knew from the jump that Engage wasn't taking itself seriously, and that's why I had such a blast reading Timerra and many other characters' lighthearted shenanigans, and the gameplay was certainly a step above its predecessor for me. That's why Timerra's my favorite character in this game, because she was the right character who let me know what I was getting into and allowed me to cut loose and turn my brain off. That, and she's just such a lovable goofball, obviously. It reminded me of the good old days of Shining Force, where it was a simple, lighthearted time. Though the difference is, Shining Force's world building and charm was on a different level despite the lack of character depth. Gonna make a video on that whole series this year. Regardless, I love everything this crazy girl Timerra represents. I always have a blast recalling all of her shenanigans and support conversations and all that, and her character is really all about just relaxing and enjoying oneself despite all the hardships life brings our way on a regular basis. I'll put this goofball as number 6 on the goof scale. Not because she's deceptively deep or anything, but because she's just good old classic fun. I want to yap about other goofballs, not just from Fire Emblem. I figured it'd be a good place to start while trying to diversify my content while my channel's still small, but we'll see. I should definitely use my community posts more for that sort of thing. I kind of want to do a goofball analysis of a character that has a lot of development, like Rexplode from Invincible, for example. But yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you had some fun, and that's really all that's necessary to support my channel. But until then, see you in the next video, and stay chill, y'all.